Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Friday, and this is March 22nd. This will be our chart lesson for today. I'm doing this really early. It's just 11 o'clock here, but it's Friday. I'm leaving out here early today, and I wanted to get something out there for you. We've actually had a pretty good day so far. I'll show you what I saw. I'm looking at a bigger channel. It's possible that the channel is more like that, and we've had the break and two legs up, but I'm just not convinced. Um, maybe that's a midpoint, and this is the bigger channel because actually, if you put that over there, just see, I believe that's going to be kind of a midpoint in the bigger channel. No, it's not quite a midpoint. It may turn out that this is the channel we've had the break, but honestly, I'm leaning towards down here because you can see we got those bounces right where I was looking for them originally, right off there. Now we've got kind of a break. We'll see what happens here. If we end up making a new high, I'm not ready to short this yet, but I'd be careful going long out of this if you're still trading when you see this, if we're still hung up in this. We'll just have to see how it goes. But let me show you the trades I saw. I mean, no matter whether, how you look at this, this is obvious this is an uptrend. Look at the EMA. It's pointed almost straight up. Look how everything's above the EMA. We got a little bit below it right here, right after the open. All that is a trap. And you really should have your line across here. So you can see this. You can see there's a definitely some support there. We broke below. It's a second entry long. You just about got to take that. And if you didn't take that, you definitely had to enter here on this second entry. And there was actually a trade here early this morning. I didn't mark it because this is really choppy. It's after a big move up. But you can see it's a second entry. You would have had to enter real close to the highs. But guess what? A lot of times that's, there's just when the trend's strong, you got to do that. You'll get tripped up. And so I didn't mark this one. It's just really an aggressive trade because you're entering so high here, and you can see it quickly pulled back. But then, you don't want to be going long up here either, and you can see it didn't go much further. And better off just to wait, and then you got this great setup. And guess what? If you entered here or here, any runners were safe, and you could have ridden this all the way up. You could still be long here. Two great setups right here made almost got me to my profit target today. And it just doesn't get much better than that. And so hopefully you saw that. There was another entry here. I meant to draw this one in green. I forgot to make it green because there's some special stuff with that one. I meant to draw that one green, and let me explain this one to you. We're kind of working down, but we just came off this upper trend line, and so you're looking for prices to come back to this trend, to the trend line before you're really looking for longs again. But this is almost like a repeat pattern, so it's very possible you were like me. You got tricked into going long right here. And you can see if you entered just above the bar, your entry would have been 48 and a quarter, and it went just to 59 and a quarter and didn't make it. So that's not a good sign. When this ended with this stem and this one ended with a stem, that's not a good sign. If you were still in this trade, definitely when it broke lower and headed down, I would have exited this. But I was lucky that I just, and I hate to even tell you that I do it this way because you'll be trying to do it and you'll have more losing trades than you will winners by not doing it the way I teach it. But as you get more experience, I just bought this blindly along this line right here. So I was long 2 ticks earlier, so I got out with my scalp. Didn't get a runner, but I got out with my scalp. And I really was looking for the trend line here, but somebody else sent me the other chart, and they had their trend line drawn somehow off of these lows right up through here. And by that, we got a trend line break, but you can just see that don't look right, really. We're way above that here. It doesn't, might fit there, but you're just not getting a lot of touches. It's too steep for one thing. Doesn't mean, I mean, you can get steep trend lines, doesn't mean anything, but you know it's not going to last very long. But you might have seen it the way I saw it here, right across there. And that may end up being it. It could be. I might have been off by putting it down here. And sometimes that happens, but, you know, that could be the channel right there. And that was another reason to think about this trade going long right here. But I'm still thinking this is it. We're probably going to trap some people here. Notice where we're finding support again, right along that same line across there. So this is an important support area. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't make a run to a new high here, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is it here. Just be, you know, just don't go short yet until you get a confirmed trend line down through here that you know, I'd wait till I got a confirmed trend line, excuse me, or trend channel before I started trying to go short. And if you get a trap down here, some kind of reversal back to the upside, I'd be looking to go long right here. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm done. I'm not going to take any more trades. I got to get out of here in 15 minutes, so I got about 5 or 10 minutes to wrap this video up. But again, you got this support across here. Here's a failed break. This wasn't a very good setup here. You might have went long right there. So again, if you did, when it got kind of hung up, I would have exited. Or if you gave your stop 2 points, you would have survived. 2 ticks, you would have survived here. That's why I always give it 2 ticks, because it's amazing how many times it ticks 1 tick lower and goes higher. But usually I'm not even going to hang around for it to come back and hit my stop unless it's real close. But by this time, you're definitely making lower highs and lower lows down through here. So wait on a trap or something. I actually entered this trade right here, but when we saw this turn down, let me show you this. This is a first entry short, pull back second entry short. We really made a new low here, so it's kind of, but notice how it's coming off that trend line. You've got 2 tries to go lower there. We bounced off of it several times. That was really the great place to go long. Quick, easy scalp, pulls back and gets the runners, nothing more. But then you get another chance to go in right here, because this is a failed second entry short now. It's really choppy. But it's coming off that trend line. It's worth entering, but guess what? It kind of struggles to go higher, but it works on out and goes up. But when the trend's up and is strong, you know, sometimes you don't have any option but to go long like that. So again, I probably should have, I took that trade. I probably should make it green. It's really, it looked a lot prettier when I was taking it. I mean, when it looked like that, you can see that there's a little failed break. That's the way it looked when I entered. And what I always do, this is awfully big here to be entering here this close. So what you do is you just drop a limit order a couple of ticks back in there and see how it pulled back, and then it gets hung up and then it takes off. So, you know, I got in this 2 ticks back into the, or 1 tick, I guess, back into this. I dropped my limit order in here and it got filled. And then that gives you a chance to get out before you get back to these highs. And you see it didn't go much higher, and then it's, you know, it's trying to sell off. Hey, we got a little trap there. We'll see what works out. But I you know, when you're looking at it like that right there, you see us bouncing off the line. It's coming back. It hits the line one more time, and look at there. It turns up. That looks, you know, there's still a lot of overlap, but guess what? There's a failed second entry short right there. It's kind of a trap, and you know, those traps almost always work. And if you don't feel comfortable getting in up here, like I said, drop your limit order back in here just above the EMA in case it pulls back to it. And you can see it came back and it couldn't get below that EMA, and then it goes higher. So a limit order would have got filled right in here. Even if you drop it on the top, but the more further you can get back, the better chance you got of getting out before if you reach, in case it can't get above that resistance right there. But on an uptrend that's this strong, you know, until you've had a break of some kind of trend line, or you've had some kind of bigger sell-off, you just got to expect it to go higher. And We may, it may be that this was the trend line, but either way, you still expecting a new high, so you're still looking for longs in here, and you're not looking for shorts. Right now, I'm kind of not sure yet until we see what's going to happen here. I don't see any reason to go long yet. There's been no setup. We had a trap right here, but notice it never triggered. I would have probably been tempted to take that, but notice it didn't trigger. But that's why, unless you're trying to get in early down here and buying the bounce, you've got to wait on the bar to trigger. You can't try to sneak in early. That's a good example right there. So we'll see what happens. And actually, this line, we need to be paying attention to what happens when we get down right in here. Because this may be what we're coming back to test before we go higher. If we're going to go higher, we may just end up in a range up here again. But you got to be careful selling this market right now unless you got a clear downtrend, especially when it started out this strong. But that was really it. 1, 2, 3 for sure trades, possibly 2 more. Hopefully this one makes sense to you. This was a little more aggressive because we are working down, and after we come off the top, if you were looking at me like this being the lower part of the range, you got to figure that's where we're coming to. But after somebody else sent me their chart, looking at that, that could be the range right there. We may have the break and 2 legs up. I still like it to the upside. I don't see any reason to be thinking short yet. But, if we keep moving down or trending down, I'll change my mind about that. But as of now, I would still be looking for longs. And that's really it today. I'm going to wrap it up so I can get out of here by 11:30. I got 15 minutes to get this uploaded and processed and uploaded. So I hope you had a good trading week. It's been a really good week. This has probably been one of my best weeks in a while. We've had some pretty good movement and not a lot, very few, if any, losers this week. I can't even remember if I had a losing trade this week. It's been a really good week. I've had a couple that I had to scratch, but no real losers this week, I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyway, that's irregardless. It's been a good week. Hopefully you had a good week. If not, you'll get better at it. Keep studying, keep practicing. I will say this, I've gotten a lot of new people lately. We continually add new people that come in, and they're catching the videos. And I always like to throw this out there. People ask me, how long will it take me to learn this? What have I really got to do? And I always tell people it's experience. And, and people will tell me, you make it look so easy. Well, when you've got several thousand hours of watching nothing but the ES, you'll be pretty good too. And, but that's the kind of dedication. I didn't just pick this up and start making money right out of the gate. It took me a while too. It took me a lot of hours and a lot of time of sitting here watching it, studying your charts every day. This is, if you want to think about this, any kind of profession that you want to go in that makes the kind of money you can make as a trader, you got to compare that to professional type positions, lawyers, doctors, professional athletes, any of those people that are good at what they do. Think of the number of hours they spent going to school and studying, or if they're an athlete, practicing. Most of them start in little league, and baseball players, they start playing when they're 5 or 6 years old. Look at Tiger Woods. He started playing golf when he was 2 or something like that. He didn't get that good, by picking up clubs when he was 18 years old and start playing for a few months. It took him years. Trading is no different. You're going to have to, it takes years and it takes lots of experience, and that still doesn't mean you can do it, because some people just can't handle the emotional aspects of it. And so this is not going to happen for you overnight. Some people will do it faster than others, and but I like to throw that out there and remind you of that every now and then. That this is, the rewards that you're going to get from being successful at this make it very hard to get into it. If it was easy, everybody would be a trader. Everybody would be rich. We'd all be trading and be millionaires. But it's very difficult, and the reason is it's because people have unreal expectations of what it takes. It really does take the kind of experience and the years of study and watching, and most people either give up or they start trading too early and they run out of money before they get there. Don't make that mistake. Until you can prove that you can make money on the simulator, there's no reason whatsoever for you to be trading live. None. Absolutely none. If you can't make money on a simulator, why would you think you could make money trading a live uh, account with real money in it? Don't do it. Simply do not do it. Get on the simulator. It works exactly the same um, as it does when it's live on NinjaTrader anyway. Get on that simulator. Get to trading. Start with you about a $5,000 account. And when you can double or triple that, then you're ready to get on the live one. It still doesn't mean you'll make money because you'll still have a little bit of an emotional swing when you go from play money to real money, but at least you'll prove you understand how to read the chart and you understand how to you understand the trading part. Then you'll have to work on the emotional part, which is part two of learning to trade. It's a two-part process. First, you got to learn to read this chart. You got to know why prices are doing what they're doing, like I talked about in the long video yesterday. If you don't understand why prices are doing what they're doing, don't be taking a trade because then you're just gambling. But when you know what prices are doing and you understand why they're doing it, then you have everything on your side and you're not gambling. You have a bias on your side, and that's all we need to make money is a bias. And if we understand that bias and we understand what prices are doing, then it makes much more sense to us. But if you don't understand why prices are doing what they're doing, then don't be entering because you're probably going to be wrong. So I hope that makes sense to you. But understand more than anything, if you don't get anything else from this video today, excuse me, if you don't get anything else from this video today, understand that this is not something that you're going to learn to do quickly. It's going to take you time, effort, and you got to be dedicated to it. Think about how many people can even get accepted to medical school, and then how many of them don't make it? They simply can't stay dedicated to it, or they don't have the ability, or they find out it wasn't for them. So, but just think about being accepted to medical school and how long you got to study and practice, and then how much experience you got to get before you can cut somebody's chest open and repair their heart. Not everybody can do that, and it takes a long time and a lot of experience, and trading is no different. But the rewards are just as good, or probably better, because you won't be, it's probably better than a medical doctor that has to open people's hearts and deal with that. Think about the emotional aspects of dealing with losing a patient on the table. It's probably worse than losing your money on a chart. So I like to throw those analogies out there because sometimes it helps people really understand how difficult this is. It's not impossible by any means. It just takes longer than people realize and what people understand. It can be done by most anybody. It's like trying to learn the charts speak a language. It's like trying to learn a foreign language. If you're an English only speaker and you want to learn Spanish or French or Italian, you can't just pick up a book and read it and know French. No, you got to practice every day. You got to get immersed in it and mainly get the experience of talking it every day. It's the same thing with trading. You're trying to learn the language of the charts of prices, and you're not going to learn that overnight. You got to get out there and get the experience. Reading a book is not going to teach you the language of charts, just like reading a book is not going to teach you how to speak a foreign language. That's a very good analogy that I like to use. And so anyway, I'm off my soapbox. I'm calling it a weekend. I'm getting out of here. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll see you next week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.